we are on the same discussion, rely on a particle or a preposition. So let's now look at some differences which are found both in verb plus preposition as a phrasal verb or verb plus prepositional phrase. One point is that the particle of phrasal verb may be placed before or after the noun phrase, right? For example, we can say, if there is a bring it in, right? So we have placed it after the noun phrase. In is placed after the noun phrase, but bring in the newspaper, in is placed right after the verb. So whereas the preposition of the prepositional verb can only occur before the noun phrase, it cannot go after the noun phrase, as we have just seen in verb 8. So go back and look at this. Compare 12a, 12 and 13a and 12d and 13d. So 12d, Marianne brought the Times in, right? So here we can see that the particle is moved, as we just said that it can come before NP or it can come after the NP. The vicar can rely Marianne on. So this sentence is not possible because here it is a preposition, and as a preposition it cannot follow the noun phrase. One reason for calling in a particular in cases like 12d and on a preposition. So this is one reason. That's why we call in as a particle and on as a preposition. Another difference between prepositional verb and phrasal verb is that it is usually fairly easy to insert an adverbial adjunct immediately before the preposition, but not immediately before the particular. So we had a test in which we placed an adjunct and we saw. For example, compare Marianne brought early in the Times. So early cannot be wedged into the bring and in, whereas vicar can rely wholeheartedly on Marianne. So we have easily put an adjunct between rely and on, between verb and preposition. So this is another difference. The third difference is that in relative clauses, the particle of the phrasal verb must not precede the relative pronoun. It cannot come before the relative pronoun, whereas the preposition of the prepositional phrase can precede it. Need not be precede or can be preceded. So for example, the newspaper which Marianne brought in. The newspaper in which Marianne brought in. Brought is fixed with in. So in cannot precede the relative pronoun. Whereas the girl whom the vicar can rely on, the girl on whom the vicar can rely. So on can precede the relative pronoun. So this is the three difference that we can think of that distinguish a preposition from a particle. So these are some of the differences that we have discussed to finalize this topic of whether a particle or a preposition, that a preposition in certain case can move whereas a particle cannot move. In some cases a particle can move and a preposition cannot move. So we must keep in our mind all these facts when we are trying to distinguish or determine their place in our lexical syntactic analysis.